Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kyle, and this is my run of 20 Skyreach on a Blood Death Knight, and that we do time. This is a doozy of a one. I'm not gonna say why, but this paladin is a meanie head. we timed this. Spoiler, I'm sorry, we timed this, but this paladin was being very mean and very arrogant to everyone. So, PSA before we do any of this, look, he has 3 constructs at once. That usually means death in a pug. So I said, not my key, but I can do it. And then he says this. If we don't do it, we don't deserve it. Hopefully this gives you some kind of idea of the ego we're dealing with here. This guy, unfortunately, I mean, we timed this, right? Doing what he said. But unfortunately, this is going to reinforce his negative, wrong behavior and his mindset, which is unfortunate. So PSA, this whole thing will not be about him or her or whatever. But I just want to say as a PSA, before we get into this, do not be like this Dubs person. They are a mean person in game. I don't know how they are in real life. Don't talk down to random people in a pug over pixels on a video game, saying if you guys don't do it, you don't deserve it. You're not a good person. Just don't do that. This is a pug. Anyways, soap opera done. I'm done saying that. Let's tackle this key now. PSA out the way. What we're going to do here is we're going to start with one big pull. A pro tip I like to do here for all my tanks is don't pull this Dread Raven that you see at the top of the screen. Pull it at the end. Don't pull it right here. It'll be too much damage. So you see I'm gathering everything. I'm going super fast, zoom fast. I'm trying to get through everything. I am vampiric blooding and death striding things as I go. I grab that last pack from range, and there's a reason I want to fight right here. Why I want to fight right here is because on the perch behind me, you're going to see a Dread Raven come. There he is. And I fight right here to pick him up so I don't have to target him or do any extra thing, anything like that. So I tank everything here. He's on me and he leaves for a second. I taunt him and get him back. But we're just gaming. This is a thick pool. This is a nasty pool. And if you're a Blood Death Knight, you can survive this. This is survivable for all my Blood Death Knights out there. We can do this. We are strong. Here's the thing you have to watch out for here. He's dead now, but there's a mob who will cast Shear. What Shear does is it does a big dam, and it gives you like 30, 50, 1,000% armor reduce. So but if you're a Blood Death Knight, you can get around that by AMSing the Shear. There's going to be AoE damage from these Dread Ravens, and there's going to be Area of Denial from the little squall things. But that's all you have to run. Big AoE damage, bleeds, all that thing. But as a tank, you mainly want to watch out for Shear from this Adorned Blade Talon. So we go from pool number one, big pool number 1 into big pool number 2. I pop my purge here, and I'm telling myself, you're fine, relax, you're okay. I'm literally like giving myself a pep talk as I'm doing this. We time this. So you see that Adored Blade Talon will do Shear. Make sure you AMS that. It is vital you AMS that as a Blood Death Knight, because you won't have to deal with the negative 1,000,000 armor that it gives you. Also on this pool, you want to watch out for those repels being casted by the Drive Gale Callers. Just interrupt them, stun them, get them out the way, do whatever you can. And be careful that Blade Rush. So that Blade Rush does put a bleed on everyone. So you want to watch out for that bleed as well. That comes from the Adorned Blade Talon. So he does the Shear, he does a bleed, he does everything. Avoid that. And interrupt. And also those Soaring Chakram Matriarchs, or whatever their name are, they're going to send out AoE damage too. So they're going to send the little clouds that will deal damage to everyone. 2 pulls in, here we are at the boss. This boss is pretty straightforward. As a tank, this should be like, you're having a breath boss. This boss is not hard. I recommend tanking him at the back here near this wall because you don't have to move them all throughout the platform. You just have to move them at the end here when the circles come near you. You want to dodge his frontal. And that's about it. You're going to move the boss when the circles come, dodge the frontal, and there is tech for the Gale Surge, but I'll wait until that comes up. So here comes the big circles on the ground, and you just want to memorize the pattern where it's going. So since it's in front of us, we just take a step back. It's going to come behind us, we take a step forward. Now that Gale Surge that you see puts 2 AoEs on the ground, that when you jump over it or when you go on it, it's gonna throw you in the air and do lots of damage. As a Death Knight, you can be Blood, you can be Frost, you can be Unholy. What you can do is you can Death Advance to ignore the knockback effect, pop AMS, and go over those and completely get rid of them. That way your team can drop it anywhere and you don't have to worry about it because you can clear it. Literally every set you can clear those, so that's not a big deal. Other thing is, and this is not going to be pertinent for my tanks, but if you're a healer out there, see that Gale Surge? You can LOS this. So you see the sides of this platform? You can LOS it if you go on the sides of the platform on the other side where that gate is. You can LOS yourself from the boss, and you can like completely ignore the mechanic and won't drop anything. So there's 2 ways to deal with this. 1, drop it far or close in your Death Knight, Blood, Death Knight, Frost, and Holy. You can clear them with AMS and Death Advance, or you can just LOS it to avoid it completely. Dodge the circles. If you're a tank, I heavily recommend you tank the boss here, because look, move, we're done with the mechanic until it comes back around. That is so easy. Like I don't have to move around, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that. I just stay here. Minimal boss movement. So if you're a tank, you don't have to, obviously, right? Like 1 + 3 = 4 and 2 + 2 = 4. But if you're trying to like keep your DPS doesn't have to move so they can just plant and do damage, I would recommend you do this. But you don't have to. Do you? That in mind, that's this boss. Nothing crazy. Finish it up. You can watch how it's done. So this next pull is scary. Just for the fire dot that you get. For tanks, this is a very scary tank pull. So you see us go straight into these guys. I grip the casters. I pre-pot, or I use my pot, and we just go into damage. Why is this pull scary? So you see those Adept of the Dawns. I have a fire debuff if you look at my debuffs right now. And this deals ticking fire damage, and it stacks, and it can get high. So what can happen, a lot of tanks are not aware of this. They don't know how to get rid of it. What will happen is you'll be taking these mobs, and you think you're good, and then you have 8 stacks of the fire debuff. And you're like, 11 stacks, 12, and you're like, what is happening? How come I'm getting chunked for my health? Ways you can reduce this and avoid this, just kite them for 2 seconds for the dot to fall off. So you can do that if you're a tank, or if you're a Blood Death Knight. You can also AMS to reduce the damage that you take. But tried and true method to make sure those adepts don't melee you, just get out of range for 2 seconds, kite them for 2 seconds for the dot to fall off, and you're good to go. That's really the only thing here. And here is the big triple construct that started the whole conversation. Triple construct fight. I am so surprised. I hate to be the spoiler, but we win this. I am like surprised in a 20. I've never seen this before. I've never seen this pull work. I've never seen this pull be done, but here we are. So why is this pull scary? You might be saying to yourself, Kyle, there's a lot of mobs on the screen. What makes this pull scary? And you're asking the right question. So what makes this pull scary is you see these solar constructs, they'll target someone with something, an ability called Solar Flame. What Solar Flame does, it's a targeted beam, big magic damage. And if they all target the same person, you're dead. If they target different people, that's a lot of healing pressure for your healer. So that's why you see we saved our AMZs, we saved our Darknesses, we saved both of our AMZs and Darkness and Spirit Link Totem, all of our defensive cooldowns when we have all 3 Solar Flames up at the same time. That's why this pull is scary, and we did it. Yeah. And if I'm being honest, I kind of hate that we did it, because this is going to enforce the negative behavior of dubs, which is what it is. Again, not the point of the video. We'll move on. I'll let Metro handle those things. But we're gonna continue. We clear this pack and we go straight into the boss. What to watch out for here as a tank specifically. So this boss will do a big line like that called Fiery Smash. It's a straight line, and if you stand in it, it deals dam, and also you're going to take more dam. So you don't want to do that. As also a lot of people say, well, tanks can't soak here. Actually, you can soak. So you see, I take those 2 smashes. I know another one's not coming, and I start soaking a line to kind of alleviate some of the DPS to alleviate, that's a hard word, some of the healing my healer has to do. So if you're a tank, you can soak beams. You just soak the tail end. So you see 2 Fury Smashes come out. I know another one's not coming up. I eat a beam to help out my healer. So the big tech on this fight, especially if you're a tank, let 2 Fury Smashes get casted, 3 essentially, because here's 1. We let that get casted. We know there's another one coming up, so we pre-position him. We see the soak lines, and here Fury Smash comes right now. 2. Then we wait. We have 1 more. There's 3. We know there's no more coming up, so we soak a line. This is essentially what you should do as a tank. If you want to impress your healer, impress your friends, and help your healer out, that's how you do it. So again, there's 1. I see one's coming up in 2 seconds. That goes down, and I go to soak a line, because I see on my boss timer another one's not coming up, so I have time to soak the tail end of this line to help out my healer. And that's essentially the fight. Nothing crazy. We lust here. I'm pretty sure we lust here. I could be wrong. That's another discussion point I will talk about, actually. So there's a discussion point on whether you should lust on cooldown on this boss. So if you lust the first pull, it should be up on this boss. So the question is, do you save it for this boss, or do you use lust for the next boss, the bird? That's a good question. If you are pugging, though, I would make the argument just to lust on cooldown. Don't try to do it. You're in a pug. Don't try to do anything fancy. Don't try to be like whoever the fanciest person is. Don't try to be all fancy with it. Just lust on cooldown if you're a pug. When you get to higher up keys, you'll see that people will lust the bird, because the bird deals lots of damage. And they want to get through the bird as quickly as possible. So you definitely can save lust for the bird. Just don't overcomplicate it. That's the only thing I have to say there. Don't overcomplicate it. And how do you not overcomplicate it? Just lust this boss. It's fine. You're going to be fine. But again, just so you're aware, and people who listen and watch these reviews, there is a discussion on when to lust this boss or the next. You can do both. You can do both. Just don't make it weird. That said, that's the entire fight. I'll let it play out for you. So we finished this fight. We did not lust this fight. I thought we did. We didn't. We lusted the bird. Again, no problem. No big deal. We go into these 2 packs of birds. Now, this pack is scary for tanks and for everyone. Why is it scary for tanks and for everyone? Because the small birds deal big dam. They deal lots of damage, as well as the bigger birds. They'll do something called Mark of Death. What's Mark of Death? Mark of Death will target someone random, and all the little birds will go attack them, which will usually end up in death. So you want to interrupt this Mark of Death cast sign. It's not, you can't interrupt it. You have to like stun it, CC, do something like that. So grip them, grip them, stun them, soft CC, anything like that. As you can see, there's the cast, but he has no little birds to deal the damage. So there's the big birds like this guy will cast Mark for Death. The little birds will do lots of damage and do whatever the big bird says. This boss, Rukkan, the big firebird, we lust here, off rip. This is not a scary boss for tanks. Few mechanics to watch out for. The Burning Claws will come, which will do physical damage to you, and then fire tick you for fire damage. Like right there, you just eat it. Blood Death Knights, we can heal through that. Not a big deal. The other big mechanic is ads. They'll drop these sun wings that will lock onto someone. And so you just want to kill the ad, and then when you kill that ad, it drops a phoenix egg, as you can see. Okay, phoenixes rise from the death. How do they do that? Well, good question. You see how the fire egg is on fire right now? If that phoenix were to die near it, it resummons it. That's all it is. So phoenixes, if they die near an egg, they'll do like a big circle. They will reignite any other egg in there. So there's ads that come down like that, stun it, CC it, kill it really quick. It has relatively low health, obviously compared to the boss. So just big deal damage to it. And then when it dies, it'll do this big AoE like that. Get out the way, that will deal damage. But if there was another egg in there, it would awaken that egg. That's all. And you can see I put an AMZ down because when he summons these ads, he like yanks them at us or whatever. And it will deal fire damage to us. So when ads are summoned, they deal fire damage to the party. That's it. That's the entire fight. I'm looking back just to make sure the egg didn't spawn anything else. But there we go. We rinse and repeat. Sunbreak, the ad comes. Big AoE fire damage. Kill the ad, stun, see it. Burning Claws, the tank buster. It comes out. We can just heal through that or AMS it. Either way, however you want to handle it is a Blood Death Knight. Is that if you're warrior tank, whatever you do to handle it. Avoid the big circle. Kill ads, heal through the dot, and then LOS this part. So this part you see flies away. He does this ability, it's called Searing Quills. And so you want to LOS under the pillar because look at him. He's like casting little feathers at you and they deal big damage. So you want to LOS. If you're feeling brave, you're going to die on this one. You don't want to be out in the open. You can get away with it for sure if you're like a Blood Death Knight and you can heal through it. Maybe AMS, but I honestly would not try that. Just LOS. Kill the ad and LOS. That's how easy that is. But that's the fight. Yeah, avoid circles. Here comes Burning Claws, or here comes an ad. Slow the ad, kill it, and then we LOS and hide. That's literally the whole fight. I'll let you guys see how we finish it up. That's it. Smoother fights. DKs, this part's easy for us. So we just ghost walk all the way up here to get there quick. And then we Death Advance the rest of the way. So Death Advance, you move faster. You can't be slowed. You can't be moved. We just use two portions of Death Advance. And we get through that. That doesn't matter what kind of DK you are. Blood, Frost, Unholy, whatever you are. You get through it. just Death Advance it. Get up here, do the thing where you cast. And let's go bang. This is a big pool coming up. So why this is a big pool, you have an Adorned Blade Talon. You'll remember them from the beginning of the dungeon. And they'll do the Shear ability on you, and they'll do a Bleed ability on you. So Shear goes, I am AMS, so I don't get sheared. And here's why this is a scary pull. You have the Adorned Talon, and that Solar Elemental you see there will do stuff casting on the ground, but he'll also cast an orb. This is the Orb of Destruction. What does this orb do? It will cast big AoE damage to you and to the group. So when those orbs show up, you kill them ASAP, instantly as soon as possible. And that's the pull. This pull is scary because you have that Blade Rush, you have the Shear from the Adored Blade Talon, you have the AoE, you have the fire damage from your Adepts of the Dawn, which stack. You'll remember those as well from earlier. You have the orbs. This is just big tank damage, big scary. And my Purg pops here, which is fine. It's there for me to use. I see Shear coming. You see me like go to click heal. Like I'm going to click everything there at that point. But we got through it. And we technically died, but we're a Blood Death Knight. We're Purging. We're good. We have a cheat death. We're okay. Next pull is also scary. We have the Solo Elemental, so you have to deal with the orb and the stuff on the ground, but we also have big melee mobs here. So we have Adepts of War here that will do lots of fire damage to us, the stacking dot, as well as attack us pretty quickly, the Soaring Chakra Mothers. So for tanks, the last part of this dungeon, I call hell. It's creative, I think. But this whole last section of this dungeon sucks for us. We are going to get hit hard. So be careful of the fast attacks from the Outcast Warriors, your Soaring Chakram people who are going to damage the whole group, the Solar Elemental with their orbs and stuff on ground, and the Fire Dot that we'll be getting from these Adepts of War. Again, not as scary as the pull previous, but still pretty scary. We'll go next into, look at that, more scary things. So in this pool, you see we have, and again, an Adored Blade Talon. And remember what they do with the Shear and the Blade Rush. We have the Solar Construct, which targets people with the Solar Flame Beam. We have the Driving Gale Callers, which do the repel that you have to interrupt. And you have the Soaring Chakram Matriarchs, who send the Wind Orb and deal. So there's AoE, there's a little something for everyone. There's AoE damage, there's single target damage, there's tank damage, there's bleeds, there's interrupts, all in this one pack. Yeah. This is why this section I just call hell. This is literally as close to hell on earth as you can get right here, this pack. I'm being facetious. I do not believe that, but you get what I'm saying. That pack dies, and we just go into the last one. This pack is easier. You have 2 casters. You have a Dread Raven. So interrupt the casters. The Dread Raven does a knockback as well as AoE damage. And you have the Solar Elemental who does the cast stuff on the ground, and he summons the orb. And you also have an Adept of the Dawn, which gives you the fire stacks. So this is like the least. This pull is actually pretty easy for myself, for Death Knights, for tanks in general. This should be an easier pull. But this pull, by nature, will be harder for your group. Rest in peace, Natari. He died there. I rezzed him because I did not want him to run back. And I will add here, I mean, we timed this by the skin of our teeth. We had 3 deaths. And also this doesn't help. So having this mob up and having to kill this mob through 30% HP solo is not ideal. Again, you're fine in lower keys. Don't flame your group. Do not do that. Never, actually. But if we could have been so much more comfortable timing this if we didn't have the deaths and we didn't have to fight that mob solo. You may be thinking to yourself, Kyle, is that really an issue? Unfortunately, yes. You do not want to fight things solo unless it's a boss, like this boss, for example. That said, this boss is rather straightforward, so an ad will come down. That ad will pull people to the edge. If you played during Wrath of the Lich King, it'll take you to the edge and drop you off. I actually really like this mechanic because there's counterplay. So you may think, Kyle, why'd you just let that guy go? Well, I let him go because once he gets dropped off, he's not going to die. He can get back to the platform. He's a demon hunter who can glide, backflip, do all the things with that. So if someone gets targeted, the best play, if they can be ignored and get back to the platform by themselves, you want to ignore the ad. If they can't, let's say it's like a Death Knight or something who doesn't have a jump ability, or a Ret Paladin that can't get back to the platform, you want to kill the ad like we are doing right here. But if it's like a Demon Hunter, an Og, a Drakthir in general, or if it's a Drakthir that has the Wernstone, you can just completely ignore that mechanic. That's really the defining characteristic for this. Outside of that, you'll see there's big AoE fire that will follow someone for a few seconds. So you take that away from the group. There's an interrupt and there's lens flare, which is just AoE damage. But that's what we do. Kill the ad if the person can't get back to it themselves. If they can get out of it themselves, leave the ad alone like we did right there, because the shaman can get back by himself. And we're gaming. There's the AoE damage. You see that big flame fire, get that away from the group. And you just game. That's all you do. Not a straight, or it is a straightforward boss. Here, I will say this commentary. Again, I'll bring it back from the beginning. Do not flame your group. I don't care if you're a key holder. You're just not a good person if you do that. Like, you're going to flame people over pixels. This guy sent me some rather unsavory photos or messages after I reported him and all that stuff. It's just unfortunate, right? Like, you don't want to do this in a group. And he says you have to pull. You'll see, we time this. You'll see at the end, that's the whole boss. You'll see at the end, he'll say like, oh, you have to pull 3 constructs or you won't time this. Incorrect. You do not have to. Yes, we timed this by pulling all 3 constructs, but we also had 3 deaths. We started attacking something. We started attacking a bird when we didn't need to. We dealt with a Dread Raven at 30% health by itself. We had people die during burst phases. So no. Dubs, if you're watching this, my brother in Christ, and for everyone else, you do not need to have 3 constructs. We timed this 3 constructs, and it helped with the time because we were playing sloppy. Keep that in mind. I just want you guys to keep that in mind. Dubs, if you're watching, I don't know why you would, but keep that in mind. We didn't time this because you have to do that. That saved us time because we were playing sloppy. And I hope that's a note to you guys too. We timed this thing. We got it done. So I hope you learned something. You got something productive from this key. You learned something. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys next time as I'm 2 away from 20 Brazil. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. And remember, Jesus Christ is Lord. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.